Hey, what's up, guys? Yo, damn, that was quick. What's up, Vlad? We're gonna take a look at all Poster 7 because we had a good talk about Poster 7 the last time I was on stream. So I think that would be a good stream to take Poster 7 line by line, dissect it, and discuss it. What do you guys think? Anybody that would like to join, Vlad, if you'd like to join, that'd be awesome, sir. Here's the StreamYard thing link. Wait, what? It's not letting me. Why isn't it letting me share this link? That's so stupid. My goddamn channel. Is the link not showing up? That's so weird. I think Chase is boring. It's not letting me post a link for some reason, guys. I don't understand why. It's not letting me post the link. What's up, Greg? There we go. Jeez, that was weird. Anyway, so yeah, so we're gonna examine line by line. Probably will be more than one stream, but I figure I like to examine it line by line. Anybody who would like to join me is more than welcome to. Chase, if you want to. What up, Noli? Noli, you can come up and join. We're gonna examine Poster 7 line by line. Of course, we're probably not going to get it all done today, but I figure we can get a little bit of it done. Oh, no, it's not Furry. Furry didn't do anything that I know of. Oh, no, Furry can't do shit about my video. First of all, I didn't use any clips from Furry. I mentioned Furry's name and what Furry did, so there will be no in hell Furry could do anything about my video. What's up, Taze? Oh no. Furry didn't do anything. Furry, well, not to me. Furry tried to copyright strike Master Report, but YouTube rejected the claim, and so Master Report, of course, now is going to go all out on Furry because Furry did some stupid shit, and apparently Furry's trying to do it to other people too that are just commenting on it. So I think Furry might try, but Furry has no case against me because I'm not playing Furry's content, so there's no copyright claim for me. I'm nothing to do with Furry. I just mentioned Furry's name because Furry, kind of did the same thing. Yeah, that's what happened, Oli. Exactly. All right, see if Taze can come back on. All right, Taze, you got some better audio?
Maybe. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
So, was it yesterday I talked to you about Poster 7 or the day before, or however long ago it was?
Yeah.
And now you're going to be talking about it on this live stream. How do I copyright strike you?
Well, you have to produce the content yourself.
Can I make it up? Hey, Kenny. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can.
Okay, hey, listen, I'm driving, so I'm not going to be able to pay attention to chat or anything like that, but I'm going to try to keep up with you.
Okay, that sounds good.
If you hear a sudden yell or scream, that means things went sideways.
Give it a couple more minutes, see if anyone else wants to join. Can you mute your mic when you're talking, Taze? There's a lot of wind.
Oh, you know what? That's my air conditioner. Hold on. Is that any better?
Yeah, that's better. Still
Hey,
some.
I found Texas. I'm heading to Texas. I'm gonna leave here either Saturday night or early Sunday morning. How's the weather?
Probably hot in Texas. It's always hot in Texas.
That's why
Even
they
in
make. That's why they make air conditioners, man, just for Texas.
all right, so can you guys read it?
I want to go there because I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to the Abilene area. I'm actually interested in a house, actually, two houses in Sweetwater.
All right, can you guys read what actually Poster 7 says, or need to make it bigger? So I can make it a little bigger. Let's go ahead and make it bigger. All right, here we go. First part, which is on Postal Service property, applicability. All right, says these rules and regulations apply to all real property under the charge and control of the U.S. Postal Service, to all tenant agencies, and to all persons entering in or on such property. These rules and regulations must be kept posted at a conspicuous place on all such property. These rules and regulations shall not apply to A, any portions of real property owned or leased by the Postal Service that are leased or subleased by the Postal Service to private tenants for their exclusive use, with restrictions on soliciting, electioneering, collecting debts, vending, advertising, and posting or depositing literature on sidewalks along the street frontage of Postal Service property, falling within the property lines of the Postal Service that are not physically distinguishable from adjacent municipal or other public sidewalks, and any paved areas adjacent to such sidewalks that are not physically distinguishable from such sidewalks. So basically, if someone it's like if Selma or Will or whoever was to go and start putting crap on the sidewalk, it wouldn't apply to them. But yes, we're gonna read the whole poster, John 80. That's it's probably not gonna be all in one show, but we're gonna try and do it. So what are some of the key takeaways you got from that first section, Taze?
I want to know whatever happened to poster 6.
Or poster 1 for that matter, right?
Yeah, 1 through 6.
Right, absolutely. I wonder what they apply to. That's a good question. I'm gonna do a Google search of that one day and find out. That could be interesting. All right, so why don't postal?
I'm sorry, Kenny, but the thing people either forget or just never knew is that the post office is not a government agency; it's a quasi-government agency. So, for instance, when the federal government does, they do their budget every year, and all federal employees, including military, get pay raises. The post office doesn't; they negotiate their own. But federal buildings, most federal buildings you go into, you got to go through a metal detector. They inspect your purses and your bags. Mm-hmm. Post office doesn't make you go through that song and dance, but they can.
Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next part here. I'm sorry, I think this is as big as it's gonna. Well, I can make it a little bigger, I guess. Here we go. Is that better? All right, so first part, inspection, recording presence. This is kind of like what you were alluding to when you were talking about the stays. Okay, so A, purses, briefcases, and other containers brought into, while on, or being removed from the property are subject to inspection. However, items brought directly to a postal service facility's customer mailing acceptance area and deposited in the mail are not subject to inspection, except as provided by the Administrative Support Manual, Section 274. A person arrested for violation of this section may be searched incident to that arrest. B, vehicles and their contents brought into, while on, or being removed from restricted non-public areas are subject to inspection. A prominently displayed sign shall advise in advance that vehicles and their contents are subject to inspection when entering a restricted non-public area. Well, in the confines of the area or when leaving the area, persons entering these areas who object and refuse to consent to the inspection of the vehicle, its contents, or both may be denied entry. After entering the area without objection, consent shall be implied. A full search of a person and any vehicle driven or occupied by the person may accompany an arrest. C. Except as otherwise ordered, properties must be closed to the public after normal business hours. Properties also may be closed to the public in emergency situations and at such times as may be necessary for the orderly conduct of business. Admission to properties when closed to the public may be limited to authorized individuals who may be required to sign the register and display identification when requested by security force personnel or other authorized individuals. So there you go. So that's interesting about the vehicle. So with the vehicle search, they have to be in a non-public, traditional non-public area of the post office. So they'd have to go, if they were to go behind where, all the post office trucks are, then their vehicles can be searched. But that's interesting that when you go in there, if they wanted to, at least from what I was reading on there, it doesn't look like they need any kind of reason to search you. It's right there in poster 7. They can
Kenny,
search your purse or whatever.
basically where the employees park and where they keep their mail trucks and whatnot.
Yeah. Can I invite Armageddon press on for questions? He's so annoying. I could try to invite him. Will he accept? I don't know. I've reached out to a few artists this week and they've kindly declined, but it's interesting. But yeah, so what do you guys think about that? What we just read there? Do you guys agree? Do you think that when you go into the postal property that you can be subject to the searches that are implied here in the first part of Postal 7? What do you think, Taze?
I think that it'd be funnier than hell if they did that to an auditor that was carrying something, some sort of a camera bag or something. Walked up to him and said, "Hey, I want to inspect the contents of your bag," because their head is just going to explode.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they would assume that they can't do something like that, but if they bother to read poster 7, like we just kind of did in this section, they would see that no, they can, and it didn't look like there was any like they didn't any probable cause. It doesn't say in there. It just says you're subject to it. It's right here. I mean, so
well, it's pretty hard to quote poster 7 as that's the holy grail, but what, only in the photography section? So you would be hard pressed to try to argue that, oh, you know what, that part's not constitutional, but this part is.
Right. Exactly.
Just one time I want to see it. Just like I've always wanted to see. How the auditors go, ID, give me your name and your badge number, and they kind of point to their name tag, and they do that whole. Is that what you tell a judge? And and then but when they go, come on, it's your department policy. You must ID on demand. That's your department policy. Just one time, I want to see an officer say, policy isn't law.
Yeah, right. It would be nice to say. It'd be nice to see that. Yeah, and right here in the beginning, they like to say they don't have to follow your policies, yet they do. I don't understand why they're talking about they don't.
Can you, I'm gonna have to jump down. I'm actually gonna go and get my haircut. Hey, so one thing quick. Do you ever listen to Leto's Law?
No.
It's an attorney. His name is I think his first name is Steve Leto, Lehto. He's a very popular website, attorney stuff, not just auditors or whatever. It's all kinds of different things.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend and highly suggest that you go to his page and watch this video. It's entitled something like 10 myths of driver's licenses or something like that. Myths.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Just myths. And he speaks about, he goes, I hear this all the time. People comment on me about this, that, and the other thing, and it's just not true. And the one that I really enjoyed was he said, people say, I'll give you my driver's license when you tell me why you pulled me over. And he goes, they don't have to tell you why they pulled you over. They don't ever have to tell you unless they're going to charge you with something. And then at that point, they have to tell you. Right. He said, but they don't have to tell you when they pull you over. Most do, but it's kind of a courtesy thing. They don't have to tell you why you're being pulled over.
Well, just like they don't necessarily have to get their supervisor when you ask for their supervisor, but a lot of them do.
He speaks to that too. He says, you know what? That's never gone good for the other person. It's always gone worse. And he goes, you know what happens in 100 times out of 100 is the supervisor will tell the officer, write him up for everything you can find, because he's mad that he was made to waste his time. Yeah. So he goes, what turned out as maybe a simple ticket, now not so simple.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Cheryl says,
I'll check it once I get out of this chair and I'm pretty again. I'm trying to get pretty for Noli because we have a date later tonight.
All right.
So I'll check back in.
All right, cool. Thanks, Chase.
And Noli, you're paying, right?
I don't think she's back yet.
All right, later.
So Cheryl, that's a very good point. If a person isn't behind the counter, I don't think that would be right to search anything if they're just in the lobby. I happen to agree with that because, I think that it's a Fourth Amendment issue. I mean, searches, unreasonable searches and seizures. I mean, you're just walking into the post office. I mean, if they want to do something like that, then maybe they should start putting in, like little search places in most government buildings and post offices. They should do that. It shouldn't just be. And I think that's another reason why they never do it, because it would become a Fourth Amendment issue. And I'm sure if they did it, auditors, and not only auditors, but just anyone in the general public would challenge that. And I wouldn't blame them if they did challenge that sort of thing. So yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next part of Postal 7. All right, so next we have general restrictions. Preservation of property. Improperly disposing of rubbish, spitting, creating any hazard to persons or things, throwing articles of any kind from a building, climbing upon the roof, or any part of the building, or willfully destroying, damaging, or removing any property or any part thereof is prohibited, which I think is pretty, normal to ask of anyone. Don't destroy our property. I think that's fair. And what's up, Noli? That's fair and totally permissible. I think most properties have something like that. Yeah, exactly, Cheryl. If you walk in with your walker to mail a package, what right do they have to check my? Exactly, and it's probably why they, it's there, but they don't do anything about it, which is good, because I mean, it would create such an issue. And then Postal 7 would, but then again, think about this: what if a post office did do that? They challenge it. They'd have to go in and change Postal 7. Do you think if they did that they would update the whole thing or just that section? Oh, dang. That sucks. Anybody would like to join the stream? We lost Tage, but if anyone else would like to come on. What's up, Power Wagon? So yeah, so that one I don't think is any kind of an issue. All right, so let's move on to the next part. All right, conformity with signs and directions. All persons in and on property shall comply with official signs of a prohibitory or directory nature and with the directions of security force personnel or other authorized individuals. So basically, if you see a sign that says, don't go back there, don't go back there. Is that a reasonable ask of the post office, do you guys think? So you don't think they change everything? Okay, fair enough. Is that a Is that an okay ask? That just, man, conform with our signs, and you're all to the good, dude. You're all to the good. What's up, Robert? What's up, Greg? How's it going, dude?
Good. How are you, man?
Not bad. So we're sitting here discussing Poster 7. We're looking at the entirety of it, and we're just getting stuck. And we're right now, we just got on with, they're basically saying, conform to the signs we have and the directions. Don't question it. Just freaking do it. I think that's a fair thing to ask of anyone that comes into their property. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Just do what we ask, man. It's not that big of a deal. Relax a little bit, you know?
Any sensible human being would know that.
Absolutely. Now, we just I don't know if you got to the part where we read about the searchers, that they can't search you. They never exercise this, but it's in right there in Poster 7. A lot of people in chat are not agreeing with it, saying they shouldn't be able to do that. And I'm on that bandwagon. I don't think they should be able to search you just for going in and mailing something. You know what I mean?
I think they can't do that because, like you said, it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Like, the other lady said something about her walker and mailing a package. Like, they're really gonna search her purse and all that, or any other person.
Well,
like,
yeah, it's one of the things. Like, now, if you're going in there specifically an item to mail, they can't search that. But if you're just, I guess it's for people that are just kind of hanging out. So like an auditor, if an auditor went in there and was just filming, they weren't there to conduct business. A lot of times they say their business is just to film, right? That's what their business is. It's more geared
unless
towards
you're
that.
like,
Anselmo, yeah, and you buy a stamp.
yeah, I was just gonna say that.
So yeah, but yeah, I think it's more geared towards the, just in case someone decides. I don't see why any terrorist would want to bomb a post office, but I guess I'm assuming that's what that rule is there for. And Blue Card, yes, to change Poster 7, yeah, you're right. They would have to amend Federal Law 39 CFR 232.1. So, and I don't know. Again, I don't know if I would trust anyone to change any current laws. Not with the current government system we have now. Just they're all way too into themselves. Say.
Now, I'm not a lawyer, so what does that mean, the last thing? Because that just went whoosh over my head.
Oh, no, just in order to change the Poster 7, because Poster 7 is pretty much just saying the CFR for the post office, the laws governing the post office. It's just I guess you call it rewording. It's more of it's more detailed. And so in order to change the Poster 7, they would have to change the law Poster 7 applies to.
Oh, okay, thanks. I'm sorry, I don't know legal things.
Nolan said, I guess I just don't give a fuck when it comes to being searched unless I gotta go back out to my car. Then I get pissed. Well, you know what? That means they'll make you go back out to your car just to piss you off, Nolan. I know I would.
Oh, I would too.
Disney, right? Disney is not a government entity, but man, they are. Don't get me started on Disney. Don't get me started on Disney. Don't get me started on Disney.
They killed Star Wars. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I know. I actually liked the one I did like was a standalone movie they did. What was it?
Solo?
No, I didn't like that. The first one they did, first standalone they did. What was it?
The
one like
prequels?
Yeah, it was a prequel. What was it?
The Phantom Menace?
No, that wasn't a prequel. No, I'm talking about it's a standalone. It was like it happened right before Star Wars. It was with what was it called? It was it's gonna kill me now. What was that movie called?
I'm sorry, Kenny. We got talking about Disney and
I'm sorry, I can't remember what it was called. All right, so anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about. All right, so back
to right.
Because I'm just not gonna someone does Rogue One. Thank you, Gary W. That's what I'm talking about. Rogue One. That was super good. I did enjoy that. That was a great movie.
Me too. I thought Darth Vader was like how they showed him after Order 66. But yeah, let's get back to the poster 7.
Here we go. Specific reasons, disturbances. Now remember, these are all restrictions. So we're on disturbances. Disorderly conduct, which, as we all know, is subjective, or conduct that creates loud and unusual noise. Now, my question is, would Anselmo's wow be considered loud and unusual? What do you guys think?
I think it's highly obnoxious, and that could cross over into disorderly conduct because there's a lot of small, like if you go to a small town anywhere in the country, they might have a really small post office in a rural area, and you know.
What's up, Stuck?
Hey, how's it going? Let me mute the one channel. There we go. Test.
What's up, Stuck?
Okay,
we're good. Yeah, doing all right. So the question before you came on was, would Anselmo's wow be considered loud and unusual noise in the post office?
Always.
Yeah, so
it's just full of noise.
Exactly. So I'm thinking maybe he's violating the disturbances clause of poster 7 then. All right, so moving on, or which impedes entrance to or departure from the post offices, or otherwise obstructs the usual use of entrances, foyers, corridors, offices, elevators, stairways, and parking lots, or which otherwise tends to impede or disturb the public or employees in the performance of their duties, or which otherwise impedes or disturbs the general public in transacting business or obtaining the services provided on postal service property is prohibited.
Well, in plain English, that says you're allowed to film, just don't disturb anybody.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. And now, here's the thing. Could it be considered a disturbance if somebody is bothered by the camera? I mean, we all know that they can film and they have the right to it. But if the camera's presence being there, could you think that could be construed as breaking these guidelines here?
Yeah, I mean, look at Amagassett Press or whatever his name is. He took his son, I think, to go audit a post office in some other state. I don't know. And he was filming. At first, everything was fine. Then next thing you know, some guy says something, and then people were getting pissed because, he's filming them. And what was it? A lady, the clerk was like, hey, the guy was like, hey, can you turn that off? You can't post in the postal office. And he went off on the auditor spiel and all that, and it was just causing trouble. And yeah, I count that as a disturbance.
Okay.
I just thought I'd bring that one up.
What's up, Jimmy? You want to join? Hop on. We're looking at and dissecting poster 7, and I'm sure there's at least 1 or 2 auditors in here. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, if they are, hey, you guys are more than welcome to come up and give us your side of the. What do you guys think?
Are you leaving nature alone right now?
Oh yeah, I'm not messing with
good.
nature. Well, I guess kind of, because we're talking about poster 7. Poster 7 is printed on paper, and paper was wood at one point. So, am I really leaving nature alone?
Well, you're not harassing nature, is what I mean.
Yeah, Kenny, you're not harassing squirrels or anything. You're not auditing them.
Well, hey, I can't help it. I would love Noli. You should come on up if you can. Noli would be great to come up. But yeah, but I think I would agree with Noli on that. That yeah, absolutely. I don't think it could be called a disturbance, really, just the mere presence of filming. Though it may be annoying and it's unusual. People aren't used to it in certain areas. But yeah, I don't think it could be. It should be an issue because, I mean, if they have the right to film, we shouldn't let, I think Rogue Nation actually brought up a really good point in Sancho's panel last night when he said that, could you imagine if the people that didn't like guns, if we listened to them saying, well, your gun makes me uncomfortable, and say, hey, you know what, your gun makes that person uncomfortable, guess what, all guns are taken away. First of all, it would never fly. But But that's the danger of acquiescing to feelings, is you can run into a lot of issues like that. You know what I mean? So
Oh
I
yeah.
think we gotta stay on the same level with everything. If feelings don't matter in that situation, then it should be across the board. That's the way it should be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
Yeah, yeah.
the poster 7 makes a lot of sense. I mean, in plain English, it's like just don't bug anybody, but also make sure you have permission to film. You know, I mean, simple as
Yeah,
that.
like if you go under to where these frauditors like to go and overlook the photography thing, it says if you read the whole couple paragraphs or whatever, you need what is it? The manager or the postmaster's permission or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get to that. We're gonna work through the whole thing. But I just want, as we do each section, I just want to get everyone's take on
Common
it.
sense.
All right, so let's continue. All right, so next is gambling. All right, now I know this applies to a lot of people in this chat. You're all gambleaholics, especially you, Stuck. I know. All right, so gambling.
What makes you think I'm a gambler? How's
Huh?
that going?
I'm just messing with you.
Where the hell did
Gambling.
that come from? And
I'm
what
just
did I
messing with
do
you.
that everybody knows about?
I'm
Yeah.
just messing with
Oh,
you.
shit.
Just messing with you. All right, so gambling, participating in gains from money or other personal property, the operation of gambling devices, the conduct of a lottery or pool, or the selling or purchasing of lottery tickets is prohibited on postal premises. This does not apply to state lottery tickets at vending facilities operated by licensed blind persons. Blind persons, really? Where
What does
such
that mean?
lotteries are, I don't even know what that means. Where such lotteries are authorized by state law. I've never heard that term, by blind persons. I don't get that.
Me neither. And then who'd want to go to a post office and gamble?
Right? Noli, welcome.
I mean,
Hey, yeah, blind persons, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, that makes
Is there another, I mean, like, yeah, blind just kind of means one thing to me. I don't get it.
yeah. I
Same
don't
here.
get that section either. And I don't understand. I mean,
I'm
well,
gonna look it up, see if I can't find it on the law library thingy.
okay. Now here's the thing. Now, all these things are here for a reason, right? So you know that means somebody was on there like shooting craps against the wall or something, or some sort of, they're doing some sort of gambling on federal property, and that's why this law is here. Because I mean, I always like to think about that. Like when you see stupid ass like things like on like, oh, when you see on Tide Pods, do not eat. You know that's there because someone ate, right? You know that's why it's there. And you're just like, really? Someone actually did that? It's mind-boggling to me sometimes on certain things.
Yeah.
To me
that's why my generation's fucked.
great. But yeah, just I thought that would just be, especially in a state, if your state is where gambling is outlawed, maybe you shouldn't be gambling anywhere, not only on federal property. So to me, that's a given. But then again, not everything's a given, because common sense is not so common anymore.
Yeah.
Well, what is common sense? When I was growing up, common sense was a lot different than it is now. And I don't understand this,
Absolutely.
I mean,
So Greg says they're basically saying that someone can't be running a crap game in a lobby. Well, yeah, obviously that's totally what they're saying. And no, nobody should be doing that anyway. And if not, if they are doing that, I want to cut. I want my 30%.
Hell yeah.
So Robert says might be a job setup for a blind person. We're not sure, but Noli's going to get to the bottom of that. While Noli's
Yeah, I
doing
got
that,
it right here. I
what
got
do you
it.
got?
Oh, nice.
So, hang on just a second. I'm gonna post it down here so everybody can read it, and then I'll read it out loud.
Okay, I'll highlight it. There we go. Go ahead,
Okay. So legal definition of willful blindness: deliberate failure to make a reasonable inquiry of wrongdoing, as drug dealing in one's house, despite suspicion of an awareness of the high probability of its existence. No, willful blindness involves the conscious avoidance of the truth and gives rise to wow, you know what?
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 So reading this is just pissing me off a little bit because it's something that law enforcement does all the time by being that whole willfully blind thing. And it being there's being a legal definition for it, and that it being, illegal.
Okay,
Um,
makes sense.
But yeah, so gives rise to an interference or knowledge of the crime in question. So if willfully blind is like knowing that there's a crime going on, but turning and looking the other way and saying, "Well, I wasn't there, I didn't see that."
oh, that's like not snitching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'm sorry. I grew up in the hood, and that's what I was brought up as. Don't snitch, and it's like ensnared in my brain.
So I see, I get what you're saying there, but I don't see how that applies to this section. You know what I mean?
That's the only thing that I have here in as far as in the law library or law dictionary.
Am I missing something? Does that make sense to anyone else? That definition in this section?
No,
I
it
just don't
still
see
doesn't
it.
make any sense, but I think.
I don't get it.
Guess knowing that there suspecting that there is gambling going on there,
Okay.
and not investigating it, I'm thinking is what they're talking about.
Okay. Gotcha. That makes more sense. Okay, cool, sweet. See, Noli, if you weren't up here, we'd be stuck on that. Like stuck is stuck.
Oh, lies! You guys
Thanks,
would have had
Noli.
it in fucking 30 seconds. You're welcome.
So, Jeremy, here's a question for the panel here. So, Jeremy Rickman says the biggest issue isn't about the law; it's about the morality of it. Would you guys agree with that statement?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Totally agree.
I agree. I totally agree. All right, so moving on. So we got through the gambling section. Wow, there's a lot of crap in here that you wouldn't know for the auditors because they focus on the one little spot. There's some stuff in here I didn't know was here.
But can
All right,
I'm learning it too. I mean,
here's another one that should be obviously this shouldn't be spoken, but alcoholic beverages, drugs, and smoking. Obviously, you can't have alcoholic beverages in public anyway. Drugs most of them are illegal, so you can't have them in public either. And at least in California, you can't smoke inside a building anyway. But anyway, it says
bad.
anyone under the
you can't smoke inside buildings here.
Nope, not in California either.
For years. Yeah.
So anyone under the influence of alcohol or any drug that has been defined as a controlled substance may not enter Postal Service property or operate a motor vehicle on Postal Service property. The possession, sale, or use of any controlled substance, except when permitted by law, or the sale or use of any alcoholic beverage, except as authorized by the Postmaster General or designee on Postal Service premises prohibited. The term controlled substance is defined in Title. Hold on, let me finish this. Defined in Title 21, United States Code Section 802. Smoking is prohibited in all Postal Service buildings and office space, including public lobbies. Okay, go ahead, Lily.
So the postmaster has the authority, the same authority that like ATF has, as far as go ahead, have some booze inside my post office. He can do that.
Well, they're saying you can't do it, and the way I'm looking at it is.
I thought you were saying he can. I was like, dude, we can go to have a party at the fucking post office.
Okay.
But what it looks like, what I understood is,
post office.
let's say I was driving drunk, right, and I get caught on postal property, right. I can get a separate charge for being drunk on postal property as well as driving drunk, so it'll be an extra charge. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yes,
it looks like it's a completely separate charge, which is wild.
It's just exempt except as authorized by the postmaster, so he can totally okay that shit.
Yeah, like hypothetically, if I go to the liquor store and I buy a couple nips of Fireball and I call the postmaster and be like, hey, can I sip this while mailing something out. Like that's where I'm at. You know.
I'm
Yeah.
saying, that there's lots of floor space in ours. People can dance for days in there. And the acoustics are great for a band. Just saying.
Well, we should all go pick a post office, grab some booze, grab some fucking marijuana, grab some cigarettes, and have a party. What do you think?
Oh, I got plenty of all that.
Yeah.
You can, that wouldn't be very smart because you would get two separate charges. First, you get it for public intoxication.
But then we claim auditing. We're auditing to see if they're doing their job and paying attention to Poster 7.
Well, I mean, I don't know if there are any cases where anyone's actually got an additional charge because they were on postal property, but the way this is worded, they sure as hell could, and that's
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's weird. I don't understand how that's even possible.
Yeah.
Not because they're from their own words, they're not a federal. They're quasi-federal. They're not federal.
Can these frauditors actually read English?
Apparently not.
All right, so Cheryl O says, I have a question. If the post office isn't run federally, then why is it a federal offense to open someone's mail? Ooh. That's a good question. It's
because it's still a federal agency.
Yeah, it was quasi-federal. It's a quasi-federal agency.
It's a federal agency that's, if I understand correctly, it's a federal agency that's privately funded.
Yeah, there we go. That's it. So yeah, you're right. It still is a federal agency. So,
and because it's a federal agency, it is a federal crime to open somebody else's mail.
So then that means if you get drunk, according to this, if you get drunk on postal property, that's a federal crime.
Yeah.
Wow. That's what
I'm reading.
So you can get a state charge and a federal charge of drunkenness, and you're just doubly fucked.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
And it also depends on the laws of the area too, you know.
True.
That's if they charge you with a misdemeanor or felony, you know, whatever law.
So anybody want to go do an audit?
No.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so let's move on. Soliciting, electioneering, collecting debts, vending, and advertising. Soliciting alms and contributions. Wow, that's a word you don't hear every day. Soliciting alms. And contributions. Alms, you know, like alms for the poor. Basically, they're begging.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Soliciting alms and contributions, campaigning for election to any public office, collecting private debts, commercial soliciting and vending, displaying or distributing commercial advertising, and collecting signatures on petitions, polls, or surveys, except as otherwise authorized by Postal Service regulations, are prohibited on Postal Service property. These prohibitions do not apply to the following. A, commercial or nonprofit activities performed under contract with the Postal Service or pursuant to the provisions of the Randolph-Shepard Act, which Nola, can you look that up for us? The Randolph-Shepard Act, please. B, posting notices on employee bulletin boards as authorized by Title 39 Code of the Federal Regulations, CFR 243.2. C, the solicitation of U.S. Postal Service and other federal military or civilian personnel for contributions by recognized agencies as authorized by the Manual on Fundraising within Federal Service issued under Executive Order 12353. So, basically, don't beg for money. Don't So essentially, that's good because you're just right. You never see the petitioners that are out there, you know, because they get their $1 per signature or whatever they get. You never see them at post offices, and apparently there's a reason why, because they can't go there and do it as per.
Here's a dumb question, or not dumb question. Does this also apply to, you know, like you see the scouts, you know, fishing for donations and stuff?
Yeah, that would apply to them, I'm assuming, unless they can get
at the post office, unless they get permission.
Unless they get permission,
right.
They'd have to.
Okay, got it.
And I'm pretty sure they'll give them permission anyways, because
well, yeah,
in grocery stores and everything. So
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I say. But I was just saying, like, that's solicitation. Not a, it's lowest point in the world, but it's still solicitation, right?
All right, so Noli, you have it ready for us?
Yeah, I posted the links in the chat, but I don't know if you can see them or not.
Let me see.
No, I
there's
can't see 'em.
I don't see any links.
Okay, hang on. Crap. Yeah, I'm on my computer and I'm on my phone.
Oh, there you go.
What are they?
Is it trans?
Mod me for a second.
It's a furry barber. What the hell, Taze?
What?
Did you see what Taze wrote? Just a couple lines up.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Oh shit.
Did I just read? Am I reading that right?
Yeah, I just read the same thing.
A transistor?
the
You are
lady-
so weird.
Personally, the post office
I think
needs
you meant
money.
transgender.
Kenny, can you
Oh,
turn me blue
shit,
for just a
Taze.
second?
Sorry, what?
Turn me blue for just a second so I can post this,
And
and then undo me as soon as I post it. Would you?
I thought you were already on. Hold on.
That was like a long time ago, honey.
Oh, there's a time limit for mods.
I was gone for a long time. When I came back, I wasn't blue anymore. So I don't know. I never gave it a second thought.
Oh yeah, no, I could have swear you already were blue. I'll go ahead and make you blue, no problem.
So what the hell is a furry barber transistor?
All right, there you go.
That just
You're
sounds
modded now.
scary.
That's here. I make Taze a mod, but I think Taze would relish it, and he'd abuse his mod powers.
You think?
I think he would.
I'm too lazy to use mod powers.
Me neither.
I'm surprised Mrs. J's not here. She must be busy. Maybe she still has to figure out her phone yet.
She got a new phone yet?
She has a new phone, but remember she was trying to get a new one the other day.
Oh, right.
Hopefully she's ready for tomorrow for the game.
What time is that tomorrow, by the way, while we're waiting?
Probably about let's shoot for 3.
3?
Eastern?
I'm gonna be working, so
3 Pacific.
yeah. Oh, 3 Pacific? Okay. All right, yeah, I should be back by then.
So that's like 1 my time, right?
Yeah. Some of us have actual real jobs, I mean,
I'm disabled, so it's like, yeah.
So
It just it's a law that mandates a priority to blind people to operate vending facilities on federal property. So
okay.
I'm assuming that like if a blind person comes in and needs to use a vending machine to get stamps or whatever, somebody has to come out and help them do it like immediately. Whoever's waiting in line can wait.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
yeah, that's just customer service.
Yeah.
I think so too.
That falls under customer service.
It's sad that they had to make it a law, though. I mean, clearly, people were being ignored and who needed help, and so it had to be made a law, and it's lame.
Right.
People are so mean.
Yeah, they really
It's
are.
disgusting.
Absolutely. They are. Absolutely. Okay, so let's go on to the next section.
Dogs and other animals. Yeah. Okay.
Dogs and other animals. Dogs and other animals, except those used to assist persons with disabilities, must not be brought onto Postal Service property for other than official purposes.
Makes sense.
So no, absolutely. So
There
I
is.
think
3.
they need to. I think they might need to update that for emotional support animals as well, because I don't see that there. But
Kenny, there's, as I understand correctly, like anybody with I could throw a service dog thing on my dog here and say, well, he's an emotional supporter, he's a working dog, when he's not, clearly, and nobody can question that. Is there not anything in place that is mandated by the government that says, okay, this is an official dog or an animal that is
No.
there's nothing.
And actually, I have the perfect person here to answer that.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
AJ, the assist dog thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
because there
What about
should be. I think there
Alright.
should, because people are abusing that, aren't they?
Some people
You
are.
guys
Is there
still hear me?
anything that they could do, or are they allowed to ask any questions or anything like that, or
No,
yeah.
you can't ask what the dog's for or the animal's for. You can't ask to see any form of any form of proof, any form of paperwork. You literally you have to just take their word for it. Period.
But that just plays into the abuse in the system, does it not?
I agree.
Right.
I agree. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, but going the other way with it violates, oh my goodness.
HIPAA.
HIPAA?
No, not
Humanitarian
HIPAA,
laws?
fucking,
Humanitarian.
no, it's, God damn it. The Crippled Act that they did back in the 70s.
Oh, the Disabled Persons Act.
Yes, the ADA. It
Yeah.
violates the ADA.
I mean,
ADA.
the
Right.
thing is,
I mean, to me, I'm sorry, because humans are just inherently always looking for a shortcut to do everything.
Yep.
There are going to be
Yeah.
a multitude of people that take advantage of that.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are.
But
There are.
the thing is it's somewhat of a double-edged sword, because while people should not have such of a free ability to just take advantage of that and
That's
bring their
right.
dogs into stores where they don't fucking belong and shit. Also, a disabled person should not have to show every single fucking person their paperwork or explain to them what it's for. I mean,
I saw a woman get kicked out of the fucking.
No, but okay, all right.
yeah.
I
Because of her, and she really was disabled.
So
Okay,
it's
no,
like,
here's-
yeah, it's one of
All right,
those
but
things where it's
here-
like, what's better?
Here's a simple solution to the whole thing. If the ADA, if it falls under ADA, and the ADA is an organization that runs all that up at the top end, right? That they say, okay, well, they take a look
Yeah.
at your service animal, and they say, okay, yes, Kenny. Okay, let's just use Kenny. Okay, for example. Sorry,
Mhm.
your dog is. They say that your dog is an actual service working dog. They issue a little card that says, yes, this is ADA issued. The dog is a service dog. That's all they need to know. That's all it needs
But then
to be
they would
able to-
have to change the Adult with Disabilities Act. They'd have to go through Congress and stuff to do that.
Okay, but you see my point. That you don't have to say anything about the disability. You don't have to describe anything other than the fact that ADA issued this card that has looked at this dog and signed off on the fact that yes, it's a service dog, and we're good. So how is that changing anything other than the
Right.
fact
Or,
that sorry, pardon my
what-
stupidity on this, but
No, what might actually work a bit better, which is literally the same idea, just implemented a slightly different,
You can
like
only
a collar. Give the dog a specific certain collar specialized by the ADA, by the city or the state or whatever.
That'll be good.
And if your animal has that collar, everybody knows, okay, that animal is an actual service dog. And if you don't have that collar, you don't get to have the luxuries of having a service animal.
okay.
Yeah, that's
but
a
it is
good
issued
idea.
by. Point is, it has to be issued
Yeah.
by the ADA. End of
Yeah,
story.
yeah, right. Literally same idea, just slightly implemented different.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's the thing that bothers me is humans like to find the biggest shortcut to everything.
Oh yeah, and I have tons of people who come into my store with their little dogs and their whatnots, and it's like I don't even ask about it anymore. Like I don't even tell them like, hey, you can't bring your dog in here, because the immediate response is always, well, it's my service animal. Always, always, always.
Well, those are called NARDs.
But
I think that's
it pisses me off because it's like, I don't know what your dog is going to do in here. I don't know how trained your dog is. I don't know if it's going to piss or shit on the floor, and that's not something I want to clean up from somebody else's dog in my store.
Absolutely. And let's not
Yeah.
forget, it doesn't necessarily have to be a dog. There are emotional support cats their emotional support lizards. I mean, it could be anything. Emotional support animals could be anything that helps you feel comfortable, and they aren't necessarily trained. Emotional support animals. That's one of the key things about that.
So how do you train a cockroach?
Yeah.
You could have if it makes you comfortable and a doctor says okay. I know, but they actually could have an emotional support cockroach if they wanted to.
How about a squirrel?
I wouldn't have a squirrel, but yes,
No,
you
you
could
hate
have
squirrels. You got a thing against squirrels.
All right, so moving on.
Moving on.
Let's move on to the next.
He doesn't
section.
want to
We're
talk
on there.
about it. See that, guys? He doesn't want to talk about his hate of squirrels.
I don't hate squirrels. They're
You.
just
Just like a general.
Squirrels' lives matter.
okay. Okay, Greg. In traffic. Drivers of all vehicles in or on Postal Service property must be in possession of a current and valid driver's license and vehicle registration, and the vehicle must display all current and valid tags and licenses required by the jurisdiction in which it is registered. Drivers who have had their privilege or license to drive suspended or revoked shall not drive any vehicle in or on Postal Service property during such period of suspension or revocation. Drivers of all vehicles in or on Postal Service premises shall drive in a careful and safe manner at all times and shall comply with signals and directions of security force personnel, other authorized individuals, and all posted traffic signs. Parking of entrances, driveways, walks, loading platforms, or fire hydrants is prohibited. Parking without authority, parking in unauthorized locations or in reserved locations, parking continuously in excess of 18 hours without permission or contrary to the direction of posted signs is prohibited. Supplemental specific traffic directives may be issued by the postmaster or installation head, which issued and posted such directives shall have the same force and effect as if made a part hereof. This is just another one of those things that is just reinforcing laws that are already currently on the book. So my question is again, could you get an extra charge for doing these sort of things on postal property?
Yes, because it is considered federal property. It's not private property. Which that's the way I see all this.
That's what I mean. I don't see any code or anything that says it. So it's either. Well, I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you guys think it's just they're just reinforcing the laws, or do you think this is here because you can get an extra charge? What do you guys think? What about you, Nolan? All right, what about you? What about you, Greg?
I think it's going to be it's a single charge because you're offending on that property.
Greg?
So that's
Well, if your license is suspended or you don't have one or something, you shouldn't even be on the road.
Right.
So you're already breaking one offense. And then with the post office, I don't know how they do that because it's not like they can, come out and check everybody's license and run it through the system.
Right.
So I kind of have mixed feelings about the post office's side.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Cheryl and Harry think that they're pretty much just reinforcing the laws. If Sawbird is saying Postal 7 covers all situations and circumstances that can or may occur on postal property. So okay, so all right, that makes sense. So they're basically, they're just reinforcing. They're saying this is what could happen, this is what you can't do. So they're just pretty much reinforcing it, which that makes sense too, because that would be pretty stupid if you charges. That would be pretty freaking ridiculous. I don't think the post office has that kind of power. What if they did though? That would be crazy.
I would love to see this reworded in the sense of thou shalt not, reword the entire thing in a series of like the 10 commandments.
Mm-hmm.
But just 10 commandments for poster 7, and just put thou shalt not film. I don't know. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Now, can I ask this question? I got a question.
Go ahead.
I just lost it. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Right. Well, we'll give you a chance to get your thoughts together. We'll move on here to the next section. Where were we?
Four.
We went too far. Oh, no, we didn't. Yeah, here we go. Voter registration. Provided that all required conditions are met, voter registration may be conducted on a postal service property only with the approval of the postmaster or installation head. See 39 CFR 232.1 H4, the conditions that apply to voter registration activities on postal service property. Whenever I've gone to vote, it has been at a post office. So yeah, I get that one. Right? Yeah, that's just obvious.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I've always voted at a post office.
Really? Oh, here we vote at.
I've never
wherever
voted
our
at a post
school
office.
is or whatever.
No, where do you usually vote?
We have
They
our
just
local
give me at some
Go ahead.
school.
Yeah.
So you get it through the college?
No. I mean, we have like our local public schools and stuff. They set up the gymnasiums or whatnot to for the voting. And you walk in, you show your ID, blah blah blah. You make your vote, you leave, and it's all. And they're spread out all over. So.
Yeah, exactly, Cheryl. Yeah, everything has to be in black and white, or someone will say, "Whoa, where is it written?" Oh, you mean like, oh, yeah, that's a good. Auditors do that a lot too, don't they? I don't see it written anywhere. But yeah, I'll just get it done. What about you guys? Where do you guys? Did anybody in chat? Do you guys do your voting in post offices? That's everywhere I've gone has always been a post office. If you say you guys have done schools,
Yep.
Yeah, where I vote is at an academy.
the small town you live in.
No, it's pretty big.
Go inside.
And the cool thing, it's within walking distance. So
Keyboard. Go.
Do you do your voting in a post office, or where do they usually have your voting polls at?
We do ours by mail.
Okay. Oop. All right, so that was an easy one to dissect. Let's move on to the next one. Here we go. Weapons and explosives. Another one that, shouldn't be questioned.
that's
Notwithstanding any other law, rule, or regulation, no person while on postal service property may carry firearms, other dangerous or deadly weapons, or explosives, either openly or concealed, or store the same on postal service property except for official purposes. So then obviously, like if your state is a concealed carry state, because there is a lot of states that you would be able to walk into a post office with it because it says withstanding any other law. So,
Which basically
if your
covers
state,
everything else out there under the sun.
yeah. So obviously, don't go in there if you're like a gangbanger. Don't walk in there with your unregistered freaking Glock. Don't do it. It'll be a bad look.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know the gun laws in my state, but I know they're pretty strict, especially after Sandy Hook, about automatic weapons and everything. So,
which is really sad.
Yeah. All right. So now, non-discrimination. No person entering on postal property shall be subjected to discrimination on the basis of race, color, sex, religion, national origin, or disability in using any of the facilities or services of a public nature provided by the U.S. Postal Service. I just am I'm really upset with our society that something like that even needs to be stated. I think it should be universal, and it shouldn't be an issue. Though it is, it's really sad to see that even has to be forced. And to me, it's really sad that we needed to amend the Constitution to end to get civil rights for certain people, and that's the sort of thing that really it sets me off. This is like we should have come a long way, and we haven't. We've come far, but we still have a ways to go.
oh yeah,
Sorry, I wouldn't want to say on that one. So, all right, penalties and other law. Like, wait a minute, this isn't poster. This isn't.
What is that?
I wonder if this is poster 7 because hold on. This doesn't say anything about. Oh, there it is. I was just saying it doesn't say anything about photography. Oh, I skipped a section. That's what happened. Okay, I skipped this middle section here because I was like, wait a minute, I haven't seen anything about photography yet. All right, so let's move over to here. So, tables, chairs, freestanding signs, or structures. Except as part of authorized postal activities, no tables, chairs, freestanding signs, or posters, structures, or furniture of any type may be placed in postal lobbies or on postal walkways, steps, plazas, lawns, or landscaped areas, driveways, parking lots, or other exterior spaces. Leave your couches at home is essentially what I'm hearing on this one.
Yeah,
You don't need to bring your couch to sit and wait in line,
that's right.
which is, again, should be okay. All right, so public assembly and public address. Now we're getting to some of the stuff that applies to public photography. All right, so leafletting, distributing literature, picketing, and demonstrating by members of the public are prohibited in lobbies and other interior areas open to the public. Public assembly and public address, except when conducted or sponsored by the Postal Service, or prohibited in lobbies and other interior areas open to the public. Now, would you consider, since their official business is just to record, would you consider what they're doing to be defined as demonstrating, perhaps, or no, and why?
Repeat that again. I sort of caught half of that.
Okay, so it says you can't demonstrate in public lobbies. So would you consider, if they're just in there filming and they're not conducting any other business other than the film, would you consider what they're doing, are they demonstrating?
If they're just filming, I don't think they're demonstrating. I mean, see, if you watch a lot of news crews, like a lot of news, they sit back and they record what's going on and they report the situation. They don't insert themselves into the storyline. And if you're inserting yourself into the storyline, it then becomes no longer news or anything worthwhile to be watching, because now you're just being an idiot, right? So it's then, yeah, you're demonstrating something. I'm not sure how you classify that, but yeah.
All right, so what about you, Greg? What do you think?
I could be wrong.
Well, it's your interpretation of it, man. I mean, your interpretation is not wrong. It's what you believe, right?
This is coming from a Canadian, so seeing how all that works. We don't have this kind of stuff up here. Honestly, we don't.
What about you, Greg? What do you think?
It's difficult, to be honest. Yeah, I really don't have much thought.
Okay. What about you, Noli?
I'm gonna leave that one.
100% no. There's a huge difference between protesting and demonstrating, and standing on your First Amendment right to film in public and to film your government agencies. And so, yeah, no. My answer is no.
Fair enough. I also agree. I don't think it's demonstrating, but I thought I'd pose the question. All right, so let's move
It is
on.
a good question. It is a good, to split your mind a little bit and, yeah.
Open your mind to that. Could it be? Because if it's, if not, then great, no problem. No harm, no foul, sort of thing. But anyway, so you want to bring your couch over there? What kind of couch you got? You got sectional?
No, actually, all I have is recliners. I live in the tiniest house you'll ever see in your life.
Cool. All right, so next, depositing literature. So depositing or posting of handbills, flyers, pamphlets, signs, posters, placards, or other literature, except official postal service and other governmental notices and announcements on the grounds, walks, driveways, parking and maneuvering areas, exteriors of buildings, and other structures on the floors, walls, stairs, racks, counters, desks, writing tables, window ledges, or furnishings in exterior public areas on postal service premises is prohibited. This does not apply to the following: A, Posting notices on employee bulletin boards is authorized by 39 CFR 243.2. B, interior space assigned to tenants for their exclusive use. C, posting of notices by U.S. government-related organizations. Wow, they really covered all their bases on that one, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, but if you want to put something in there on the bulletin board or whatever, you go and you ask and make sure it's okay. You do so. Common sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know
So
anyway.
I don't see tile, so you could put something on the tile and you'd be okay. Hey, loophole.
There you go.
It's all about finding the loopholes, baby. All about finding the loopholes. All right, so Salvador says, postal service like the pharmaceutical companies, they list all the side effects that could possibly happen or kill you, so they are free from all liability. Yeah, they do. Which is why you have like signs on medicine or whatever it says, don't take more than one sort of thing, because we're stupid and they will do it if they are not told. Yeah, get permission first. It's all the post office is asking for, something fraudsters do not like to do. All right, so now we're moving on to the meat and potatoes. The one that the auditors always read.
Oh yeah.
Photographs for news, advertising, or commercial purpose. Photographs for news purposes may be taken in entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums when used for public meetings, except where prohibited by official signs or security force personnel or other authorized personnel or a federal court order or rule. Other photographs may be taken only with permission of the local postmaster or installation head. Now, and they always say how and just like Rogue Nation said, we always talk about this and that. And then their big thing is, I've never been arrested doing it. Just because you haven't been arrested doing it doesn't mean you're following the rules. It's just it's interpretation of how it's being interpreted right now. They're being told, like, yes, it's their First Amendment right. They can go in there and they can film. Yes, I mean, I don't think anyone's saying they can't film normally. But here we go. It's for, and to me, it's always the key word is here for public meetings. When you're going in there just to film, and there's a normal business day, is that a public meeting? It's not a public meeting to me. So, right? Are we wrong, or are we right, or are we wrong, or is it somewhere in between? I'm gonna start with you, Stud.
I think we're, I think we're more right than than we believe, because when you're going in there to do this, then just get permission from the owner or the operator, right? Postmaster general or whatever, and make sure that everything's hunky dory. Don't disturb people going about their day-to-day business. And if somebody says, please don't film me, then you say, okay, have a nice day, sir, ma'am. It's just simple little things. And then just report on the process of, I don't know why I still don't understand why you want to do that. It's a post office. But anyway, like just on the process that, yeah, they're conducting business as per whatever they've been doing for the last, 200 plus years,
Yeah.
I mean, what's their report on? Like, there's nothing. What do they look? What are they honestly looking to find at the end of the day?
Post offices, I don't know.
See, the auditors or frauditors just pick out the first couple sentences. You could record for your lobby, whatever, but they don't read the whole paragraph.
Because they can't read
That's
English.
What just pisses me off about Anselmo. Well, mainly Anselmo, because he likes to audit post office, which makes no sense to me. But
I mean, what are they? What conspiracy or something are they trying to find in these places?
I don't think they're necessarily trying to find any conspiracy. My belief when they go into post offices is it is just to see if anyone's they're looking for the public freakouts. They're looking for the Karens. They're looking for the Darrens. They want to see if anyone's going to do it. And if they don't get it, they're happy, but they know there's a strong possibility that they're going to get it.
I'd punch him right in the chops, you know. After I ask him nicely, can you please not film me? If he used to film me, then yeah, he's going to get one right in the right between the eyes there. And I'm not a violent person normally, so.
Yeah. Oh, what about you, Noli? Where do you fall on this?
I would honestly, I need to grab the Constitution and grab this and grab like the law dictionary and kind of go over it all together before I have an answer. I need to have more collective info before I say yes or no on it.
Okay, so you got 5 minutes starting now.
You sucker.
Actually, get 6. We'll give you 6. 5 is too short. 6 is good.
You get 7 because I like you.
The poster 7 makes sense, but again, this goes back to if you go to any federal building, any public building here in our country, there are policies. They're not necessarily rules, but there's policies that govern your behavior when you enter those premises. And some you may agree with, some you may not. You like them, you may not like them, but these are put into place for everybody's protection and safety at the end of the day. And unfortunately, these idiots seem to cherry pick what they want out of it, and then they try to push everybody's buttons because it's not law. And I don't know. I'm sorry. That's just I'm getting fired up again here.
That's okay. So let's skip through this real quick. Noli's only got a half hour. I want to finish this and get her input on it.
Yeah, I need to get drunk. That's what I need to do.
Penalties and other law. Alleged violations of these rules and regulations are heard, and the penalties prescribed herein are imposed, either in a federal district court or by a federal magistrate in accordance with applicable court rules. Individuals found guilty of violating these rules and regulations while on property under the charge and control of the Postal Service are subject to a fine as provided in 18 U.S.C. 3571 or imprisonment of not more than 30 days or both. That's interesting. Nothing containing these rules and regulations shall be construed to, I'm going to butcher this, abrogate any other federal laws or regulations or any state or local laws and regulations applicable to any area in which the property is situated. So, what I'm reading is you can get a fine based off of the code that they provided here.
Yeah.
So if you were to go on and be drunk on postal property, you can get a fine from the postal office and whatever charges you get for state and local. That's interesting. At least that's how I read it. I mean, does anyone else see it differently?
I see that now. Yeah.
No, would you agree there? Does that what it looks like to you as well? Or sound like? Adam, what about you?
I agree. The way you put it, I mean, I could see a prosecutor trying to argue that.
Yeah. Now, would it fly? Maybe not. But
it might not. But it's if they're going to take a flyer, they might as well take the whole dang thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. So that's all right. So, go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the whole idea of auditing the post office. Really creeps me out. I conduct business at the post office a lot, where I'm going and I'm getting money orders and I'm paying my rent, and I'm like, I don't want to be filmed at the post office when I'm doing that. Even the remote possibility that somebody might recognize me and understand that I'm making a large transaction and might try to go after me when I'm doing that. I know as it may seem absurd, but I just don't like the idea of conducting business at the post office and then some rando is recording me and then putting me on YouTube.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, totally. I can see that. I totally understand that. I agree with you on that. So enforcement, it says, security force personnel will exercise their powers under 18 USC 3061C2 and are responsible for enforcing the regulations in this notice in a manner that will protect U.S. Postal Service property. Postmasters or installation heads may, with the approval of the Chief Postal Inspector or designee, enter into agreements with state and local enforcement agencies to ensure enforcement of the regulations in a manner that will protect U.S. Postal Service property. Postal inspectors, Office of Inspector General special agents, and anyone designated by the Chief Postal Inspector may also enforce these regulations. So let's see, postmaster. So designated by Chief Postal Inspector. So basically, shift managers would be able to enforce these because they would have been designated by the postmaster of that installation, correct?
Yeah.
So
If
they
there's a
don't
contract.
if there's a contract.
Yeah.
Okay. So there has to be a contract first. Fair enough.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so there we go. We got through all.
I would think the highest.
You crazy old man, you.
We got through all Poster 7. Did anyone learn anything that they didn't know before, or is there any gripes you have? They're saying, well, no, this shouldn't be in there. We'll start with you, Scott.
No, they've got it covered pretty good on all possible scenarios that do and will and occur. It's just it comes down to the cherry pickers that they see one line. It's like, well, now I'm allowed to do whatever the hell I want because it says this, and they don't. Yeah, stupidity, really. I mean, they've done a good job. Poster 7, they've done a good job, but it comes down again to other. I'll bet you if you look at other policies at other federal buildings, you're going to see some very similar stuff.
All right, Noli? Yeah.
I have a better understanding of it, I think. Yeah. Better understanding of it.
Okay.
And what's in it.
Do you kind of understand more where auditors are coming from now, or do you see them? Do you more clearly see the right or wrong of the public photography in it because of this, or is it still clear?
I get where the auditors are coming from, of course, because I'm one of them. Oh my god! But I hate the way that they go about it. They do it in such a fucking pissed off, like confrontational way. And I get that the ones that aren't confrontational are kind of boring to watch. But the thing is there's that peace of mind of knowing that you can go in there and not get accosted or beat down and your head caved in because you took a picture of your daughter standing next to something cool on the wall or whatever,
Mm-hmm. But Noli, okay, I mean, to me, if you're going to do an audit, what does audit mean? Audit means you're going to go in there and you get your tax records audited, right? I mean, they go through you and they
but you're going to make sure that things have been done correctly.
Right.
And that's what they're doing. They're going in there and they're making sure that they're following the constitutional laws that are in place to protect our rights.
Boring or otherwise, the problem is, as you say, like if you insert yourself into the situation, you're going to get people pissed off and you're going to get clicks and views and all this and stuff. But you're totally straying away from the whole purpose of the audit. You're there to
exactly. Yeah.
You want to see if customer A gets the service that they need, or customer A say they're blind and deaf and they need help to buy a stamp and send something out, whatever. And does the postmaster or post person come out and give them a hand? And you can report on that and say, look at that, guys, they're doing a really good job here. All right, and that's an audit, right? Not get in there and film everybody. Okay, no, sorry, I'll shut up now. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, the being a dick part, I can't stand it. It makes me so frustrated, and that's why the channels that I actually give my time up to, the number is dwindling down. It used to be that I was up for almost the entire weekend, every weekend, because it was one live after another, after another, after another, where people needed help. But, you know, it was like if I wasn't there, they weren't getting the help they needed when they needed it, because everybody would just run around and be like, what do we do? What do we do?
Well, then just let them,
And,
let them get arrested. Let them be stupid. You do what you think.
Oh, I don't mess with the ones that I believe are stupid and are out there for the wrong reasons, or they're out there doing it in a way that is doing harm to the public, to the general public, not, you know, people who are at the moment in uniform. But to the general public, I leave. I'll leave, or I'll stop watching them altogether.
Good.
I don't entertain their bullshit. I won't.
Okay, so Adam, what about you?
They probably didn't use enough crayons and, you know, Denny's placemat drawings for some of them.
Pictures. They need pictures.
You're with that
No,
guy?
honestly, all jokes aside, I really want to know what's the difference between, like, if you come to my place of business and you start filming, you know, I work in a factory. And if you were to wander out onto the floor and you were to start filming, you would be told in no uncertain terms, you need to leave.
Yeah.
You need to leave. You need to stop filming. You're not allowed to be in here. So what's the difference between where I work and the private business of the post office?
All right, let me.
Or any other.
It's not a private business is the thing. It is
Canadian perspective. Because the post office is federal property, it's still considered public property. You're allowed to do a lot of this as you feel fit. Private businesses are not government or anything else. They're private businesses. So they have their own set of policies that says, screw you, we're going to kick your ass off of here or call the cops on you if you just wander in and start, you know, doing something like that. So it's a difference between private and public, really. That's why.
It's definitely not. It's not a private business in a sense like your factory is. It's quasi government. They do fund their own stuff, which I think is really cool. A lot of a lot of federal businesses just rely on tax dollars. The post office does get tax money, but they do get a lot of their funds for the sale of stamps, which is why you have all the different stamps that they have. They have collector's item stamps. Those are all used to help fund them. So I think people take that when, you know, they understand that's a quasi federal agency, they take it to mean, well, okay, that means it's not federal. No, it
is. Yep. Oh, we lost Kenny.
Yeah. Yeesh.
No. I have a great idea if somebody wants to create it, because I'm not very creative on it. When Kenny comes back, there she is. Kenny.
Yeah.
You know what we should do for the our auditor friends is come up with a pop-up Poster 7 book.
What?
That's a really good idea, actually.
And make it very, like, you know, enough, you know, plain English enough and childlike that they can understand it.
I like it. I don't know if you could make a pop-up book without it being huge for that, but, you know.
Who cares?
Maybe a little pocket manual or something for it, in plain English.
Well, I mean, it's in really plain. It's already in plain English. I mean, I don't understand how much plainer you can get. I mean, how much more plainer can you get?
Okay, using less words. Using less words.
We can read it, but these guys have
They're all like Trump, okay? They cannot read more than one sentence without their name being in it, okay?
Exactly.
We'll put attention on Selma Morales. You cannot come into this post office and film in the foyers or whatever without permission, Anselmo Morales. So if you do this, Anselmo Morales, you will be violating Poster 7, which it does have a CFR, Anselmo Morales. Just keep.
Can I reserve bringing that back up on the next show so that I can give my answer?
Yes.
I gotta look
tomorrow.
that shit up.
So you want to do that tomorrow, or is that enough time?
Yeah, I'll look at it tonight.
Those are too many words. It's you have to put it in like maybe a 3-word sentence in crayon for them.
Or
done.
Friday's gonna be the game. But if you want to wait till Saturday when you're on for panel, that would work too. I mean, or you can come on tomorrow and do it. It's no big deal. Whatever you feel comfortable. I'm going to be on Friday and Saturday. Friday will be
Saturday.
the D&D game. All right. Yeah, because Friday's going to be the D&D game, and then Saturday is just going to be our true crime panel, which I'm actually looking forward to more than the game.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Me too. I've been doing some research today on the one I picked, and oh, hey, you never answered my question. Can I pick something that's kind of like silly or funny to kind of go along with it, since it's going to be pretty serious as far as the one I'm sharing anyway. It's probably going to get people upset.
You're picking the one. Oh, the one you're saying is going to get people upset.
Yeah. Would it be all right if I picked another short one, or even just a personal experience on like a something that's unsolved that is kind of silly and funny?
Okay, cool. Well,
because it's the one that I'm doing is about a local girl here that was kidnapped, and they found her body 11 years later. And I actually met the mom the day after the girl was kidnapped. She pulled up right next to me and handed me a flyer and asked me if I'd seen her kid.
Oh wow, jeez.
And they still haven't caught the people or person who done it, but there's been suspects, and
Jeez.
yeah.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, I would say for it.
Yeah, it'd be good to have something not quite so serious thrown in there, just to kind of take the energy off of you from that, because it really does leave some ugly on you.
And Nole, you can pick after the true crime one for the next Saturday. I'll let you go ahead and pick what we should talk about.
Ooh, okay.
So you can, whatever it is, whatever's on your mind.
I promise it won't be boobies.
It won't be what?
It won't be boobies.
I want to see boobies.
It'll be vagina.
What if we could do like a whole panel on Josh Abrams' tits? Come on.
Oh God, no. I'm thinking about like other boobies. You know, like let me.
I gotta go. I have this thing I gotta do.
Okay, great. Thanks.
I love you guys.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Nice to meet you.
All right. So yes,
I need
Saturday's gonna be a lot of fun.
Right now, thanks with that Josh's tits.
Need brain bleach.
God damn.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Did anyone else think that they were calling him Ass Elmo?
Yep, I'm sure they were.
If they're what? I didn't hear you.
I said, does anybody else think he was being called Ass Elmo?
What about Elmo? All I heard was Elmo. What about him?
He's called Ass Elmo.
Oh, Ass Elmo. Well, he's a freaking idiot anyway. He's doing
right. That's what I thought. It was like, I think DN did a video about him, Degeneration Nation. I thought he was calling him Ass Elmo.
Yeah. He's got all kinds of nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
but my idea, I take my idea with crayons, maybe 5-word sentence each for each of the rules. You know,
you cannot film in the post office without permission. Call the postmaster. It's not that hard.
Well, I know Josh has court coming up this week, so he might be. If all goes well, we might not be seeing Josh for a while at least.
I think, from my impression,
he's the one who needs to get locked up.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but all the authorities across the states that have encountered these morons, these guys are already on the authorities' radar. So once they get to this level, they're screwed, right?
More or less.
Yeah, more or less. So, I mean, we won't be seeing at least him for a while, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see him. I would love to see his court case, though.
Yeah.
Taze, I saw that thing you sent me on Beware Mouse. If you could give me some, because I don't know any of the background behind any of what he was saying in that. If you could email me some background stuff on it, I'd be more than happy to. Because I want to do a video on it, but I don't want to do it without some background. So if you could send me some of that background, that'll be awesome, and I'll be able to do a video on it. I don't want to just do it off of what I saw that didn't really explain too much. But I think I see what you're saying. When yeah, it's good. But like I said, I just like to have background before I did the video. So if you could do that, I'll totally do a video on it.
Excellent. Yeah, that must be nice. But some of us actually have to work.
Yeah, so it's a Mask Confess on live stream. It doesn't even realize it. And I would like to do a video on it, but like I said, I don't know a whole lot about this cat, so I
never heard of him before. Is that an auditor?
I think he's more like, I don't know what you would consider him. What would you consider Beware Mouse, guys? What's up, Randy? I'll put it in the thing here.
Yeah, I don't recognize him. But I only see what the other, I don't like seek their channels out. So if one of the anti-frauditors isn't doing a video about you, I probably won't know about you.
Yeah. Oh man, there's new auditors popping up every single day. It's ridiculous.
Well, that kid.
And yeah, what's the sovereign citizens? I kind of think they're one and the same. Yeah.
You know, sovereign citizens, I know they're all around, but I always seem to keep seeing the same videos surface over and over again. I'm curious to find out where DGen and all these people that do Soft Citizens, where do they get their videos on the Soft Citizens? Because I've tried to look, I can't find like any new videos. Like,
well, they're probably looking on BitChute and all the other streaming sites.
But it is, yeah, BitChute. I don't look on BitChute.
Yeah, I don't have a BitChute either.
So that's probably where they're finding some of this stuff anyway. Yeah.
Well, it is kind of their job, so they probably scroll through, hundreds of pages on YouTube to find a new one.
It's tough, man. I put in Soft Citizen and then I'll do by date and nothing really comes up. I mean, and man, it's real fun to go into the Sovereign Citizens comment section and just say something, because they immediately assume you're a troll and you don't even want to listen. When no, I'm willing to listen. Of course, you're not going to change my mind because I know you're wrong, but I mean, I'll listen to you.
It doesn't mean I'm going to agree with you, but if you
make it,
I got blocked from Devon. You know Devon Bay.
Oh God.
Just because I said when I was on the I was on a stream with Chuck Chases the Facts, and Devin was streaming and going on about his all this other crap. So a bunch of us went over there and said, "Come on to Chuck's channel and have a talk. Come on over." He blocked everybody. Even though he says, "Come fight me, come talk, come have a discussion. We're inviting you over," and yet he still blocked everybody. I mean, it was great, So I feel honored that I got blocked, at least by somebody anyway.
Right.
Don't block me, Kenny. Please don't block me.
So May's saying Vilify posted a whole list of frauditors 2 days ago, and it's a big list. Cool. There are quite a few frauditors out.
Okay.
It's once you watch a couple episodes of Sovereign Citizen Bingo, you've seen all the heads.
Yeah. So did Devin? Speaking of Devin, does he have a channel back up, or is he still gone?
Last I heard, I haven't looked, but you're right, Gary. Devon is irrelevant, but he's just funny and to watch and listen to sometimes, even if it's just for a moment. But he got his channel totally taken down. All his videos were removed, every last one of them, right? At one point, and I haven't seen anything since. Unless he's come back on a different name, and then he's bitching and complaining about him getting taken down and demonetized. So I'm sure that will pop up again somewhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, with this kind of stuff, what I've seen on what he posts, I don't understand why he's surprised that he isn't being monetized. I mean, I don't even think he was at the channel I saw wasn't even at 1,000 subs yet anyway. So why was he worried about monetization?
I don't know. I mean, he's just as whoever it was here just said it, he's irrelevant, and he is. But it becomes relevant when he starts making threats to people, and calling people out on certain things like the, pedophiles and whatnot, which he's accused a few people of.
Okay, guys. So I'm looking for new victims. Well, not victims. I shouldn't say that. I should sit around. So looking for new people to do content on. Adam, who would you like to see?
I'd like to see Taze. Do some content on Taze auditors.
Taze auditors laugh like hell. Oh yeah. What about Adam? What about who do you like to see, Adam?
I wish P. Barnes had more episodes.
Oh God.
Or what?
T. Barnes. T. Barnes?
P. Barnes. The original Taser.
The original Taser. T. Barnes.
T. Barnes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite all-time videos. I gotta say, I don't follow the sobs or the frauditors unless you're making a video about them, or Schrodinger or Vilified or Degeneration. You know, not to name drop a handful of channels on yours. I apologize, but you know, if it's not on there, I'm not. Maybe that kid. I'd like to see if you do a video on the kid. Did you see that one?
Which one?
The kid that went to the police station and was crying about the.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm glad the dad stepped in and did the right thing to try and help that kid out, because that kid was just way, 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 way far gone, I think.
Yeah. So what about people in the chat? Who would you guys like to see do some content on? I'm really having a hard time with this connection for some reason.
Oh, let's do content on Kenny. Let's do that.
What?
On Kenny. Content
on me?
On Kenny. Yeah, on you.
Klein, God damn it, he talks too much shit about the auditors, and I don't like it. That'll be interesting. I would actually like to do content on people that do the opposite of what I do, that defend the auditors. But the only one I really know of that does that is New England, and there's just it's too easy. It'll be too easy.
Yeah, that would be.
Taking candy from a baby.
Who?
Taking candy from a baby.
Exactly. So, and plus, then he'd be all, he'd say, then he'd accuse me of, the only reason he's relevant is because he mentions me in this video. And it's like, that's not true.
Did Bobby Hill get out of jail yet?
Did what?
Did Bobby Hill get out of jail?
I don't know. Let me check my email. See if I'm checking to see if Furry tried to strike me. I'm gonna see, because I'm expecting Furry to try and strike me, because she's been striking everyone. No, nothing. That's from.
He has no access to the internet, probably. That's why.
Well, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not using the video of Furry, so I mean, it can't be a copyright strike.
Right.
That's true.
I mean, I'm just waiting for. I'm waiting for it to show up. So that's exactly what I'll put in the disclaimer. Like, I'm not using any of their content. So how is it?
Yeah.
Show how my channel has evolved. Ooh, that would be an interesting video.
That could be fun.
I like that. Lone Wolf City Watch. Never heard of them, but I'll.
Yeah, I don't know.
You were good on El Sancho last night. I was laying in bed watching and listening for a while there. So, by the way, Kenny.
Yes, I dox myself. I am biracial. I am.
Oh. You like blacks and whites?
But Furry's being investigated by YouTube according to my. Oh yeah, because Furry is misusing the copyright system that they have there, and Furry could lose Furry's channel for that. Also, what's his face is in danger. News New England is in danger as well, because he does it a lot too. So,
I love how they're like. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I love how they're all freedom of speech and holding the public to account, and yet they're more than happy to strike someone.
Well, yeah, and if it's anything positive, they're not going to say anything. They're only worried about negative crap. You know what I mean? Right. If someone were to go on and praise him and say, "Oh my God, I just have to show you this clip of how Brian from News New England is a god," he would probably play that video on his thing daily.
We keep losing Kenny. What the hell?
Kenny! Oh my God, they killed Kenny!
Kenny! Kenny! I know you can hear us. Kenny! There you are. Welcome back.
Furry has been striking channels where you allow negative talk about furry. But how is that a strike? It's not a strike. It's commentary.
Right.
To me,
I do love that. Anytime there's negative commentary, they're more than they're the first ones to go after it.
See, well, the thing is, when it comes to commentary and stuff, if we're discussing something like auditing and stuff, and we come on and say blah 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 blah, and then they say something a little bit contrary to what we're saying, you know, Kenny's not going to sit there, or his mods are not going to sit there and strike that and say, well, you know, you're an idiot, I'm going to block you now, because this is the whole purpose of all of this. It's just to talk, right? Yeah. And bring everybody awareness where we can, and where, you know, but if you go on their channel and it's stupid because you say something contrary at all to what they believe, and that they think
you don't have to say anything negative, just contradictory.
Just contradictory. You're striked. You're blocked. I've been blocked from a couple of those channels as well, I think, but because I commented on something a while back, and it wasn't negative. It was just, I think I put it more constructive, you know, constructive criticism, and it's like, well, excuse me then, screw you. Have a nice day, you know.
Right. Well, my thing with the auditors is it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, just ask any of my mods. That's Powerwagon. Ask me, how many people have you guys blocked or silenced or anything like that? And for what was one of the reasons? If you did, what was one of the reasons that you did do it?
Well, I'm surprised I didn't get blocked the other night when I was on my 7th beer. So.
Yeah, I mean, they know that they're not supposed to just, you know, they know they're not gonna. They can't just block you just because they say something bad. They realize that. And they're not going to do that because they are in agreement with me and most of the people on this channel that free speech is something that is okay to have. You can have a dissenting opinion of a certain subject and be able to talk about it.
And be 7 beers in and still be hopefully sober enough to discuss it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like we had when we had CFW on. She didn't agree with everything we were saying. We didn't agree with everything she was saying. Same with last night on the Pan show with Sancho when he had Rogue Nation on. Now most of us didn't agree what he was saying, and a lot of people, and we didn't agree when we looked at Joe's audit when he did his cop watch. Most of the people on there thought he was aggressive. He felt he wasn't aggressive, but we had a civil conversation about it, and we didn't really get anywhere. But you know, no one changed anyone's mind. But he conceded he saw where we were coming from on certain aspects, and we could see where he was coming from on certain aspects. It's just all about coming together and not necessarily maybe coming to an agreement, but sometimes it's just you agree to disagree, and that's okay too, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Although I wish you could just shut these auditors up once and for all, because really they're causing more harm, I think, in the long term than they're doing any good. But that's my opinion. You know,
I've never blocked anyone for any reason ever on any social media platform. If I don't want to hear what you have to say, I'm just gonna ignore it because I'm a grown-up.
Yeah, thank you, Star. And I'm glad that it comes across that way because that's exactly how I want it to come across, and I'm glad I'm at least succeeding in that part of what I'm trying to do. But back to furry real quick. The fact that furry is trying to strike channels that are having any kind of negative comment on furry, that just goes to furry is not doing this for freedom of speech. Furry is doing this for a completely separate, maybe even selfish reason.
He's doing it for furry.
So, you know, it's just it baffles my mind that, you know, so I don't ever want to see furry ever talk about the First Amendment. I don't ever want to hear furry talk about how, I'm a First Amendment, I fight for the First Amendment. I'm fighting for everyone's rights. No. None of furry's videos are about that. Because if they were about that, furry wouldn't be going to private businesses.
True.
Furry wouldn't be going to the religious institutions, stuff like that. No. Furry would be going to the post office. Well, yeah, the post offices or the police stations. I don't think I've ever seen furry audit a police station. Have you?
Afraid. He's afraid. He's a pussy.
You know, I've never seen furry do a police station. Not saying that furry hasn't done it, but I personally have not seen an audit. Every furry video I've seen has been either a religious institution or furry decides to just walk down the street and see what furry gets, which is just, I don't get that one either. Just walking down the street, and of course people are going to get pissed off. They're going to wonder what you're doing. Like, what are you doing? And then, of course, you be rude to them. They're going to be rude to you right back. That's just human nature.
Yeah, but no, sure, you were walking down the street yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
Yeah, and I guess that goes back to what I was saying earlier about the auditors going into the post office. To me, that bothers me. It's like, I understand that it's a public building, but but I think that especially the ones that go in with the level of disrespect to both the employees and the patrons of the post office, that does bother me. I understand that they can do it. They have
but
freedom and First Amendment, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
I've been cutting you off. I apologize. I was going to say you have a reasonable expectation of privacy as well. I think
that there's also a reasonable expectation of courtesy. I think we forget that courtesy cuts both ways. And so if you want somebody to respect you, you've got to show them respect at the door. And I'm not doing, if I'm just in the post office minding my own business, trying to make my payment. And like I said, that's what bugs me, is that there are people that are conducting business. I myself go to the post office and get a very large money order to make my rent.
But you want your privacy. You want your privacy. And you say, but you do have to speak up and say, please don't film me or put me on or blur my face. If you say that.
But then they get combative against you. I've seen it happen.
That's the problem.
Where they tell you, I have the right to film. This is my right. It's the First Amendment. I can do what I want. And that's, to me, that's the level of disrespect where I lose all respect for a vast majority of the auditors.
And that's what pisses me off. If, you want to film, fine. But if I tell you, and you're filming me, and I say, look, can you please blur my face? Then they have to abide by that. The same thing with, I think, the news agencies. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny, but if you were interviewed by a news agency and you say, can you please blur my face, right? They have to respect that, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so why can't these guys get it early?
I actually have a kind of a personal anecdote. One time when I was working at Walmart a long time ago, I don't work there anymore. So I don't feel any obligation to hide that. I had the chance to talk to a TV producer. He was coming in looking for something. He was working on a CMT show. I forget which show, some teen drama thing. And he was telling me that they have to blur anything that they don't have permission to use. By law, in television, they have to blur things that they don't have permission to use. So copyrighted material, faces. Like if they're getting B-roll in the background, like at the beach, they're shooting B-roll for a scene, like for a transition scene. If they don't get the permission from the person in the shot, they have to blur them. By law, it is in the law that they have to blur them.
Well, there you go. And then it goes down.
That's the thing. It's not really a law. They do it as a courtesy. News organizations can use the same things that the First Amendment auditors do, but the news organizations have a little bit more morality. They realize that they want to be on the side of the public. They want the public to talk to them. So therefore, they're going to acquiesce and like, okay, we're going to ensure that we don't piss you guys off too much because we want to be able to, talk to you, get insights from you. They realize that they have to have a good relationship. Auditors, on the other hand, they're not looking for a good relationship. They're just looking to do what they do, go in, get in, record, get out. They don't care why it's done. They're there to make sure that their rights. It's not. They're not worried about anyone else but them. News organizations are different.
There's always three sides to every story, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the two third-person sides, and then there's the truth in the middle. Oh,
yeah, because if what you were saying was true, Adam, then you wouldn't see the First Amendment community the way it is right now. You know what I mean? It will be completely different. You'd see blurred faces on all their audits and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think. He mentioned about copyright.
You're right. And that's just from Google. Google is really worried about being sued, so they're gonna just do whatever they can to not get sued.
That's right. Well, yeah, that goes without saying. I mean, nobody wants to try and they don't need that kind of negative publicity. Absolutely.
Exactly. I mean, just like when we had the Me Too movement, where someone was accused from 40 years ago of this. What happened? They got fired. There's no proof. They're tried in the court of public opinion, and they lost their job for it. You know, there's no proof that they actually did it. It's just an accusation, but they still lose their job for it. A lot of large companies, in order to avoid a real hefty lawsuit, will just say, we'll just go ahead and give it to you. Kind of the same way prosecutors say, well, we don't want to go through all this, so we're just going to plea you down, sort of thing. Same concept.
Yeah.
It's not.
Sorry about that.
But I think we should all, as the Watchdog community, put together a very simple list for the auditors.
What do you mean?
It's basically the 10 commandments of auditing.
Oh, they already did that. Sancho's channel did that.
Oh, did they?
He did it on that. He got together with a bunch of auditors,
but he didn't do it in crayon, and he didn't do
it. No, wasn't in crayon, but yeah, they did
that.
Shoot.
And Jimmy, no, I don't think there's pixelation big enough to cover Glenn's head. I really don't.
What about his boobs?
Man, he's lucky he didn't get his head caved in.
Oh, he's lucky on a lot of levels on a lot of things, but still.
Someone asked a little bit ago anything about Casey Camera Boy. Camera Boy, I've done a couple of videos on him. He went to Costco. Did you guys see High Desert Community Watch did a Walmart video of receipt, one of the receipt videos they did? That's becoming more and more popular. People are doing these videos where they're not showing their receipt at Walmart, which I thought that everyone knew that you don't have to show your receipt in Walmart. I thought that was just knowledge.
There's a policy in place now. My wife works at Walmart, and it's basically to show that, because they got a lot of people trying to steal and thieve everywhere, especially at Walmart. So if you legitimately bought it, then if you go to anybody shop at Costco, they check your.
Costco's different though. It's in their rules. It's a membership store, so they can. It's right in their membership that you sign that you will be showing your receipt. You can't fight Costco. Walmart though, you don't have to show your receipt no matter what.
When you're asked to prove to whoever is working there, like, did you purchase this? You should be saying, you should be showing your receipt. Period.
When I worked at Walmart, the only times you had to show your receipt were on busy day, so Black Friday mostly. At the time I worked there, the only time we really enforced the receipt policy was on on Black Friday.
I up with my wife on that. Yeah.
Critic, it's not a law that you
I haven't been there for like 5 years, so.
Critic, it's not a law that you have to show your receipt, but it is within their when you I don't know if you have a Costco account, but it's a membership. So they have all these they have this big old contract that you sign. In the contract, it states that you will show your receipt upon leaving the store. And if you sign it, you're agreeing to the everything that's on the legal contract. So you can't refuse, or they will just, they won't, if you don't show it, don't show it, but they'll immediately terminate your membership. You won't be able to shop there no more.
But I mean, if you walk into any store, okay, and then you walk out and they think that you've taken something that you've got in your hand and you haven't paid for it, then that's their discretion to stop you and say, prove to me that you paid for this, right? It's up to the discretion of the store, policy or otherwise.
Well, if you don't show your receipt and they suspect you stole, the store shouldn't stop you because that's not their job to stop you. They should call. They should either get their loss prevention people to do it, but like a cashier shouldn't be stopping anyone. They need to get loss prevention involved, and loss prevention will get the proper authorities involved, and then they'll take it there. But no, they can't make you show a receipt. If you don't show a receipt, they can't. They just can't make you show.
So you're telling me I could walk into a store that doesn't have one of these policies in place like Costco does, and I can pretend, I can like take something, and I can just walk out, and they can try and stop me, and ask me for a receipt, and I say, well, I don't have to show you. Have a good day, and then they'll have
but they'll probably be calling the local authorities, and your description will be put out, and the cops will come looking for you.
That aside, but okay, like I don't know. To me, it still doesn't make any sense. I mean, the store says, show me your receipt. And if you paid for it, then 99% of the time, you're going to show the receipt if you've legitimately paid for it. Right? Or you're just going to be a dick and say, I don't have to show my receipt, and then cause all this extra trouble.
I've never, Cheryl says she's had trouble Walmart over receipt. I've never had trouble over a receipt. I go in, and what I do is I just walk right out. I don't say anything. I don't stop. I just walk right out, and I've never been stopped. But then again, I've never really gone to Walmart for a big ticket item. But they can't, which is why they don't stop me, because they know there's nothing they can do. They can't make you show a receipt. A lot of people stop to do it, and that's cool. And there's nothing wrong with it. If you want to do that, that's fine. If you feel comfortable doing it, somebody don't feel comfortable doing it, just like I don't have to prove that I'm not stealing. You know what I mean? Why do I have to prove that I'm not stealing?
Well, do you look like a thief?
Any kind of proof. They have no reason to believe that I was stealing. Now, if they thought for some reason I was stealing, then I would show my receipt and say, well, we have you on camera doing this. I'm like, well, no, but just to make it go faster, I'd show the receipt to prove it instead of just trying to prove a point and making it a bigger deal than it should have been. You know what I mean?
Well, that's my point. I mean, are you going to turn around and be a dickhead about it and not show your receipt, cause a lot of, trouble,
Headache.
and money and headache and everything else? Or are you just going to be a man and say, yeah, I paid for it, and then they'll let you go on your way? Like, just so you don't have to prove that point, even though it's not policy, just you didn't steal it. Yeah, I don't know. My wife sees a lot of theft at our store all the time, so apparently, and that's
it's just one of those things. Like, you don't have to stop. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I go to Walmart, I see lots of people that do stop, and I don't think any less of anybody that stops and shows their receipt. They're just going through it. They're like, it's not a big deal to them. It might not be a big deal to you. It's not really a big deal to me. I just don't do it. It's like, forget it. Why? There's no point to it. I know I'm not stealing. No one was following me around the store, so I don't have any reason that they would think I was stealing.
Well, they were. You don't know if they were following you around if they were good enough.
Oh, they're filming. Oh, that's true. That's true if they're good enough. But usually you can spot. Usually you can spot when the loss prevention is following you. Though usually you can.
But it's pathetic. I understand the nature of most stealing because some people don't. If they're stealing food or whatever, some of the stuff people steal is stupid. But but it's just you get caught more often than you get away with it. I mean.
As Jeremy says, they cannot force you to stop anymore, but they have to rove. They watch you conceal it, and they have to show that at no time they lost sight of you with said item. That's the thing, because if they did lose sight of you, they couldn't. There's no that you would still have that item. Which is why they have cameras everywhere in stores nowadays. Everywhere, like every nook and cranny.
Mm-hmm. Has anybody ever been caught for shoplifting? Back in their day?
No, I never shoplifted.
Be honest.
I've never intentionally stolen anything from anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, see, Gary, I agree. The funny part is when they're in Walmart, right? And then when the video comes on, you see it's starting right as they're about to walk out the door. Oh, you know what this is about. They're hoping, and they go as slow as they can so the person will actually say, "Excuse me, can I see your receipt?" sort of thing. And they're waiting for it. And then they get all, "Oh wait, why do I have to?" They go on their auto spiel of, "Why? Is it illegal or something like that?" It's fucking ridiculous. It's one of the most frivolous things I've ever seen.
Yes. Well, it can be, but at the same time, you got to realize like all those thefts come back to us as far as the costs on the shelf.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, agreed. And
realize that, and also not to mention the fact that like this kind of stuff is morally wrong in itself, but I mean, just from the economical sense, like every time the stuff, they have to chalk up all these losses, we end up paying higher prices. I mean, it may not be noticeable because it goes up a few pennies at a time, but over a period of time, it does show. So, yeah, show your damn receipt. I think it's perfectly fine, regardless.
I think it's good either way. If you don't want to show your receipt, don't show your receipt. Just don't make a big deal out of it. Just walk the fuck out the store.
And then
don't confront them. Just walk out the store.
Because they do have proof or not that you stole something.
If you walk out the store and you're not looking at them, you're just looking straight ahead, they're not going to stop you.
Not necessarily. I've been asked for a receipt a couple times at Walmart.
Every time I go to Walmart, I've never been stopped once, asked for a receipt. Not once. And I've been to Walmart quite a bit. Never been asked for a receipt.
I was walking, I bought my stuff and I was on my way out because I wanted to get going and they asked for my receipt. It's like, oh yeah, here you go. Check here. That's what I bought. Okay, great. Have a nice day. But I mean, like if I turn into a big deal, like, oh, I don't have to show my receipt. See you later. They're gonna have somebody chase me down and then tackle me, and then here we go. More.
Yeah, that'll be a lawsuit from hell from them if they do it out and tackle you.
If you make yourself look suspicious, they're gonna think you're being suspicious.
Absolutely.
My policy on the Walmart receipt is if they don't ask, I don't volunteer it. If they do ask, then I give it. That's how I deal with it. If they don't ask, I don't worry about it. If they do ask, here's my receipt. Have a nice day.
Perfect. That's exactly the way it should be.
See, I can respect that. Mine's a little differently. I won't show. I'll receipt. I'll politely tell them no, and then I'll just continue walking. And if they stop me, well, then that's their problem, and they had no reason to stop me. You know what I mean?
True.
I mean, I'm not going to make a big deal about it. I'm not going to pull out a phone to record it. I'll politely say no. I'm not sure my street. I don't have to. Thank you. Have a great day, and then I leave. And usually, if I remain calm about it, I'm pretty sure they'd just be like, "Well, okay, there's nothing I can really do about it."
I'm going to throw a scenario at you and see what people would do on a moral basis. This just happened recently to me. I went into the grocery store to pick up a 6-pack of beer and a couple other items. I got a small bag of dog food and a couple other things, right? And when I paid for it, I looked at the receipt and I was getting ready to leave. My beer wasn't charged. It was $13 for the beer. Okay? What would you do?
Walk out?
You would walk out.
Yeah.
Really? That's honest answer. I'm not saying it. Yeah.
It depends on how far away I got. I'll be honest with you.
I was still at the cash.
If I got all the way to the car before I realized I didn't pay for something, oh well. Okay. If I was standing at the register, I didn't pay for that, beep, and pay for it.
I saw her look like she scanned it. I guess it looked like it scanned or something. But I didn't put 2 and 2 together, the total, in my head, that kind of thing. But I turned around and I said, "Hey, you didn't charge me for the beer." I showed her the receipt. She ran it through. I paid for my beer and I walked out. But what would you do, Kenny? Would you walk away?
I'd walk away.
Really?
I can be honest with you. I've accidentally taken sodas, had them on the bottom of my cart and forgot to scan.
I did that a few years ago. I had a case of water that I did not get charged for because I totally forgot to put it up on the runner there for being scanned. And we got out to the car and I said, "Oh shit, didn't pay for the fucking water." It was like $2 for the case. Me being the moral, responsible idiot that I am, I walked back in and said, "You didn't charge me for the water," and I paid for the water just because I feel guilty, you know.
That's my mom's policy. If she realizes she didn't pay for something, she goes back and pays for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
That's
just all
real.
It all depends on what it is and how far away I am. If it's
that too, yeah, it was all the way across town. That's definitely a different story.
Yeah, but you'd be going back to that store again at some point, so that you make it a note that, okay, if you noticed it when you got home, right? Okay, you make a note, say, okay, well, I have to maybe pay for this when I come back in. So when you go back in, you make a comment to whoever's, ringing up your groceries or your items or whatever. Say, look, you didn't charge me the last time for such and such an item. Can you please add it to my bill? That's the right thing to do. I know, Adam. Okay, I know. I see you're chuckling, but yeah.
I'm not trying to get one over on anyone, but if I manage to get one over on someone, I'm not necessarily going to rat myself out either.
Yeah, but this poor cashier made an honest mistake of not scanning my beer. Okay, so is it her that becomes her responsibility, but at the same time it becomes my responsibility because now I walk out of there with $13 worth of beer. I'm stealing. End of story. Even if I get to my car and realize it, I'm still stealing that fucking beer. I can't drink that and get drunk and be happy about it. Not at that case, but that's me. I mean,
Dave, the connection, I have that connection for some reason today. They keep me booted. It's really annoying.
Yeah, it's okay, Kenny. It's all right.
You're in and out, in and out. Well, you shouldn't let your Wi-Fi drain.
So one of the things, if I'm too far away from a store that gave me, if I just realize that they gave me too much money or something like that, what I'll do is I'll try and pay it forward. I'll instead of spending it for something personal, I'll spend it to maybe I'll give it to a homeless guy or something like that. Just pay it forward. That way, I feel a little bit better about it.
All right, I'll tell you. Here's something you should do. Here's something you should do, and I think everybody should do this at least once. Our Tim Hortons here, our coffee shop. If you go up there and you buy a coffee, and you say, "I'll buy the person behind me a coffee, the coffee or whatever they're ordering." So now what you do is you start a chain reaction, and this actually has happened a few times, where I drive up and since that person ahead of you just bought you the coffee. It's like, "Oh, thank you." So then you pay for the person behind you, and it turns out in the one case there was something like 40 people paying it forward. That one set of line. I mean, you should try it as an experiment, a social experiment, and see what happens.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Do it at a drive-thru. It has to be at a drive-thru. It can't be in the store. It has to be at a drive-thru. See how far that actually can go.
That'd be interesting to see.
But
I've done that.
This has been a lot of fun. But I keep getting booted, and I'm just having really bad connection, so I'm gonna have to end this one.
Oh, that's fine.
Tomorrow we'll be back. Hopefully the connection will be better with the game. Stuck, you sent me your thing. Yeah, you sent me it, right?
I sent it already, and you said great. I think you like. I think you like that, eh?
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did like it. I remember now. All right. So tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, it'll be 6 Eastern. It'll be 6 Eastern. So we'll come on. We'll get it going. Adam, thanks for joining the panel. You had some great insight.
Yeah.
No problem. Stuck, thank you again. Dave, thanks for showing up. Catnat, thank you. Gary, thank you, sir. Cheryl, thank you.
And everybody in the panel. Yeah.
Kimball, Jeremy, Stallbird, thank you, sir. Jimmy, thank you for still around. May, if you're still around, thank you. Taze, if you're still around, thank you. All right, guys, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen the video today, please go ahead and check it out. Check out my video I released today. It's some misinformation. We got 3 people: Josh's buddy, Chuck Bronson, and Furry Potato.
Excellent.
And please let me know what you guys think about it. And I'll see you tomorrow. And get ready. It should be a lot of fun.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks.
See you tomorrow.
Peace.